Good morning. It is December 31st. It's New Year's Eve. It's December 31st, 2024. It is currently 8:53 a.m. and I am here in my suite because the Lord told me that I am no longer going to put this off and I'm going to go ahead and do this. So, as you see the title of this video, I started my own aesthetics practice at 21 years old, and I wanted to finally just go ahead and document my process on here because procrastination is rooted in excuses. So let's just get started. I have no fancy intro, no anything like that. I'm just raw. This is just Alexis Raw. So let's go all the way back. So, a little bit about myself. I am a licensed esthetician. I'm certified in treating acne and skin color in the state of Georgia. I am located in Atlanta, Georgia. I have been certified in treating all skin types or multicultural skin types and conditions by Michelle Obama's former esthetician, Joelle Lee. This is, hold on, this is us right here at the training in 2023. Oop. And I'm also a certified acne specialist by Faciality Skincare. And all my certificates are sitting pretty back here under my retail. But my journey into aesthetics started when I was 16. So, when I was in 11th grade of high school, or I was going into 11th grade, summer before 11th grade, I was working as a lifeguard because I used to be a competitive swimmer. And everybody knows if you're a competitive swimmer, you're lifeguarding over the summer. It's such an easy job. Like, but I was working as a lifeguard and I was on my break and something came over me to just start researching skincare because I've always been into beauty, but not skincare specifically. Like I used to braid hair on the side as a hustle. I didn't really like that. Um, so yeah, fast forward to summer of 2019. I was just on my break. I was researching skincare. I became really fascinated with how a lot of the natural properties we have on earth can really benefit the skin. So I forced my older sister to take me to Publix and I made these two scrubs. It was my aloe vera and blueberry scrub, and I just made them in my kitchen. Like I just whipped this up. I just made like a random ingredient pairing like sugar, um aloe vera, and I just made it and didn't think nothing of it. And I let my parents try it, and they're like, Alexis, like this is amazing, you need to share this with people. And so I was like, okay, well, that's just what parents say when they love you. So I posted on, I think I had a close friends at the time. I posted on my close friends and I was like, I made these scrubs. If anyone's interested, would you want to buy, or would anyone want to buy? And I had a few people interested. And so I got little goodie bags off of Amazon and I got little samples and I just whipped these scrubs up and I gave them to the people who were interested for like $5, and I didn't think anything of it. And before I knew it, I got a lot of good feedback. Like people were DMing me saying like, this is amazing. This smoothed out my texture. What is this? Like I need more of this. And five people turned into like 10 turned into 20. And before I knew it, I was brainstorming a business name with my parents on the couch. And my mom came up with Lexi Pure Skin because my name's Alexis. And hold on, because we got to show the jacket. Yeah. Anyways, slight slight interruption to flex, but yeah, my name is Alexis. Lexi's my nickname. So my mom came up with Lexi Pure Skin, and at first it was Lexi's facials, but we were like, no, people would not understand. So my mom was like, it's Lexi Pure Skin. So we came up with Lexi Pure Skin, and I made a business page, and I just started um selling my stuff all over school. It like blew up. My business blew up, and during that same time, I unlocked a passion I didn't even know I had for skincare. That was when I knew that was my purpose, because the results I was getting, people with just products I was making, at home. I was like, I want to, figure out a way I can do this for the rest of my life. And during that same time, because you're in 11th grade, you're trying to figure out where you want to go after high school, college, all those things. I, was doing my research and I came across the field of aesthetics, and I found out that you can treat people professionally as a licensed esthetician. And that's when I knew that was exactly what I was going to do. Yeah, I decided I was going to become a licensed esthetician. I didn't even know that was a career. I'd never heard of an esthetician. Now, estheticians, we are more known, we're more popular, but back then, that wasn't a really known career. Like, there was always facialists, there was always, people doing skin, but it's not like we were plastered everywhere like we kind of are now. Um, but yeah, I was like, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I continued my business all through 11th grade, 12th grade. I expanded my product line. I started making soaps. I made rose water. I got a business scholarship. I got a magazine article for my business with Voedge HCL. Shout out to them. Um, I spoke in front of my graduating class about just, because a lot of my class of 2021, May's class of 2020, they were so supportive. Like, my class was so supportive, and I, like, did a speech to just, like, thank my class for being so supportive and really helping me push to become an esthetician, and just, how I plan to become, and how my plan was to become a licensed esthetician and practice in the state of Georgia. And that was the speech I did at the vision ceremony in 2021. It's somewhere on YouTube. I never went back and watched it because I don't like to watch myself talk, but just crazy. But yeah. So fast forward to 2021, I graduated May 2021, and then I went to aesthetic school that fall. So I went to the Atlanta Institute of Aesthetics, and it was a great program. Hold on. This is di- um diploma and all that stuff. But yeah, my aesthetic school, y'all, aesthetic school is not for the weak. And that's why you really have to ask yourself, if you're getting into aesthetics, do you really have a passion for it? Because aesthetic school is no joke. You have to really ask yourself, like, what is your why into getting into aesthetics? Like, are you getting into it for, reasons that aren't genuine? Or are you getting into it because you want to help people? But that's a conversation for another day. So I went through my aesthetics program, and I finished my 1,000 hours. So trade school is different, at least beauty school is different from traditional college. It's a clocked hours program. So each hour counts. So if you're missing days, you're missing hours. So I never missed a day of aesthetic school. Like, that is how serious I was when I was going through the program. This sounds terrible. This sounds terrible. But even, like, my dog died the morning of me having class, and I was like, well, I still need to go to class. I know that sounds terrible. Looking back, that sounds really bad, but it's just like, I was just too close to the finish line to just stop now. It's like, okay, I can cry later. That sounds terrible. Please put yourself first. Don't do that. RP Prince. But wow. Um so yeah, I went through my program. It was not easy. It was really challenging. But I pushed through. I met some amazing people during that process, and you guys know who you are because they're still in my life right now. Yeah, I graduated, started school, and then I went into the workforce. So what people don't tell you about aesthetics is that getting a job in aesthetics is, like, really hard, because people want estheticians who have experience. But if you are just out of school, it's like, well, how can I get the experience if you don't hire me? And I knew I wanted to specialize in skin, because that was what I initially wanted to do when I went into aesthetics. Even when I was in aesthetic school and I was learning, like, all these other things like waxing, body treatments, I knew I wanted to specialize in skin. So, with that being said, when I graduated and it was time for me to find a job, my options were very limited, because a lot of places want you to do everything. They want you to do facials, they want you to do waxing, they want you to. I don't want to do none of that. I'm not touching no one's feet, and I'm not touching anyone's legs. I'm just not doing it. And I was not willing to compromise on that. So my job choices, like I said, were limited. And it was just not an easy process, and I became very discouraged, but I just continued to pray and just pray and pray and pray, and I just got really clear on what I wanted. And I landed a job that allowed me to do exactly what I love: facials. I landed a job and I worked there for about 8 months. I'm not going to air out the place I work, but I mean, if you have context clues, you can probably figure it out. Like, it just takes a simple look of scrolling down my page and you can figure out where I work. But I worked at a franchise, I was corporate, and I had 7 clients my first day. And I think I made like 130 in tips on my first day. And that's when I knew I was exactly where I wanted to be. It's just this hospitality and having rapport and knowing how to have empathy and really connect with people always came easy to me. And my first day working, I realized, like, okay, this is exactly where I need to be. This is it. So, like, worked there for 8 months. I was like one of the top estheticians. I was always booked out, always busy, and that's fine until it isn't. Because when you're just getting in the industry and you're just getting your feet wet, that's great because you need that experience. It was amazing to be able to see like the business side of running an aesthetics practice. It was, really eye opening to see like what really goes into running a shop, running a storefront. It's it's some serious stuff, and it's really good to be able to have the opportunity to see how that works. But it was a stepping stone. It was definitely a stepping stone. I knew I wasn't going to be there forever. I knew I was worth more. I knew I was worth more, and I knew my clients deserve more because when you're in a franchise setting, you're kind of limited, or you kind of have to conform to what the company wants you to do. And after a while, I became so tired and so busy, and the opportunity of me having my own space presented itself. And which is where I'm at now, but we're going to get into that. That opportunity presented itself, and I was trying to figure out a way for me to still work at my job in Buckhead, because I would drive 30 minutes or sometimes an hour to work every day, every day. And I quickly became like that burnt. I wasn't present in my real life because I was so focused on work. Like, I would go to work and then I wouldn't come home until like 9, and then I would like try to catch up with my family, but I'm really tired, and I have to wake up the next day and do it again. I was barely eating. I was not prioritizing myself. Like, I was not sleeping good. I was literally sick. I was sick. I was sick. I was really sick. Like, that's how much I was being worked. I was working myself, and you know, it just I couldn't recognize myself. I couldn't recognize myself, and I feel like I just veered off to a point I was trying to make earlier, but I'm gonna get back to it. But yeah, the okay, I remember what I was trying to say. I the opportunity of me having my own business came up, and I was trying to still work there and try to figure out how to do this on the side. And I was so stressed because I had about 30 plus clients at my old job, and I was like, how am I gonna have all these clients and then try to do my own thing? It was just a mess. And so this is the moment. No one knows about this. Not many people know about this except like some of my clients I've told. But the moment I knew, or I experienced my first like mental breakdown or burnout, I would say, is so me and my girlfriend, Sequoia, who I love dearly, we went to the Nutcracker. And mind you, I went right after work. Like, I had to actually call time off so I could have time to like go home and get ready so I could go to Nutcracker. Anyways, we went to the Nutcracker, and I was not even paying attention to the play because I was so stressed about work. I had I had a horrible headache. I barely ate. I was just so burnt out, and I literally remember looking at the play with tears in my eyes because I was so tired. Like I have never felt that way before. I Words cannot explain how tired and just I just feel like the life was sucked out of me. And so my girlfriend Sequoia, who's, the great friend she is, she like could tell I was not out. She can tell I wasn't Alexis. So she took me downstairs into like a um like a room that has like refreshment snacks. There wasn't really anyone down there. And I just broke down crying in her arms. I was just bawling. I said, I am so tired. I have all these clients. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I just don't know what to do. I am so tired. Like I can't do this. I can't keep working like this. I just can't. And I remember she looked at me and she's like, Alexis, like, you have done enough. You don't need to you can leave. You can leave the job. Like it's okay. She was basically just telling me like no matter what you do, you're going to turn out okay. Because she's like, look at all you've built with a company. You can do it on your own. Like you don't have to worry. And I was just so upset to the point like she had to call my dad. She had to call my parents for me because I was so um I could not even articulate how burnt out I was feeling, that she had to explain to my parents like what was going on, like why I was so upset. Because I was crying. I couldn't even explain to my parents what was going on. And so I we left the play, and we have to, Sequoia, if you're watching this, we're gonna have to see the Nutcracker again, because the way we never, like, I meant to like make up for that because I felt like we were so excited for the play and I ruined it because I was burnt out. I'm just playing, but so that night I was talking to my parents and I was like, my parents are support my parents are the parents of the decade, parents of the year, parents of the day. Like I love my parents. And we were just like, I got home and I was just like, I can't do this. Cause mind you, while all this was happening, I had a full book of clients the next day. I had like 6 clients the next day, 5 clients. But I'm very intuitive, and I remember that the Lord gave me a vision, and the vision basically was, if I went to work the next day, I would have passed out and had to go into the hospital. I passed out and I had to go to the hospital. Like I passed out in the middle of a treatment. And, you know, I don't take stuff like that lightly, because when the Lord talks to you, you need to listen. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna have to I'm just gonna have to figure something out. So I was talking to my parents when we got home from the play, and I was like, I need to leave. Like I can't keep working like this. And so I sent in a recognition letter. Well, I texted all my clients because I'm a smart girl. I texted all my clients. I just told them what's going on. Like I'm burnt out, and my clients at the time, who are still some of my clients, amazing, supportive, like so sweet. Take care of yourself, Alexis. And that's why you let the Lord guide you, because everything always turns out to be okay. Because I was stressing. I was so, excuse me, I was just stressed because I had all these clients. Like, you don't understand. Like, when you have responsibility over so many individuals, it's hard to, especially at such a young age, it's kind of hard to just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just drop everything because you feel you have that obligation to people. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna step on faith. And so I, text all my clients, I send my recognition letter, and then like I just never went to work ever again. And that's so like, as they would say, what, Gen Z coded. Like we be quick to leave a job, but y'all, my youth was being sucked away. I'm like, I'm only 21. Why do I feel like I'm 50? Like, no. For what? Like it's never that serious. And so I quit my job, and then I went to Puerto Rico like the next month. I quit my job in December. I went to Puerto Rico on New Year's Day, and then I opened my practice in January. And you guys, this taught me a really important lesson as a business owner, as a service provider. You have to prioritize yourself. in this industry, because if you don't, your body's going to make you some way, somehow. You can't overwork yourself. You can't be a people pleaser. You can't, overextend yourself, because it's going to catch up to you and it's going to show up some way, somehow, like I said. And that was my very first experience experiencing that. And I'm happy I experienced it now at 21. And I learned the lesson now of, you have to prioritize self care as a self care provider. I mean, it's a no brainer, but it's so easy to get caught up in the hustle of it all. And I realized that's what I was doing. When you're in an environment where it's like fast paced, corporate, like my lunch breaks were never really an hour. I only had 10 minutes between clients. And, I, really connect with my clients. So you have to rush clients out, be short with them, and you really don't want to be it's just like, that's the, I got conformed to that mentality, and that's why I got burnt out. And so, going to Puerto Rico after I left that job, like, really was like a whole reset. It was like a rebirth. It was a whole reset, and I was really able to, you know, ask myself what I wanted out of my life and my career. And so, yeah, I opened my practice in January. Um, Fun fact, I actually got my license on my birthday, and my birthday is January 24th. But yeah, I opened my practice in January. The place I'm at now is amazing. It's Bea Salon Studios and Suites. So I'm at the one in the West End. They have a location in the West End, Virginia Highlands, and Midtown. Um, so yeah, while all this burnout stuff is happening, we are meeting with the owner at Bea Salon Studios, talking about my options, talking about like me potentially having my own place here. And so now that I left my job, I was able to fully step into my CEO era again, because ultimately me opening my own practice was always the goal. But I thought that I was going to work somewhere for like 1 to 2 years before opening my practice. But the Lord said, no, you're more than capable. You only need to work at that job for 8 months, and we're going to get the ball rolling. So, what was I saying? Okay, yes, the opportunity came up with Bea. And so in January, I opened my practice, and they have so what I like about Bea is that they're different from traditional salon suites. They give you membership options. So if you're still building your clientele, you're not quite ready to, commit to that weekly rent, you can set up and break down and just pay like a fee one time a month. And they'll give you a set hours a month. So you can do that. And so I did that for 6 months. Luckily, I live down the street. So, but I would set up and break down. Every time I had a client, I would set up, break down, set up, break down, set up, break down. I did that for 6 months straight. I just put my head down and I got focused. And it went by really fast. And it was not easy, because you want to be settled. You know what I'm saying? You want the space to feel like yours. I felt like my space was never truly mine, because I was always setting up and breaking down, but I knew that's what I had to do to prove to the Lord that this is what I truly want, and that I'm willing to put in the work and put in the effort to show him that I deserve this. Like, I'm going to take care of the blessing you're going to give me. So I'm going to work for it before I even receive it. So I did that for 6 months, and I built my clientele back up, because essentially I started from scratch again. Because when you have to pivot, you have to make changes. So I essentially was kind of starting some of my clientele back up from scratch. So that gave me an opportunity to just like build. I was able to build my website again. I was able to build up my Google reviews. And July of this year, I moved into my permanent suite. So this is what she looks like. It's dark in here. The lights are off. I just have my my glam core. This light is a good light, y'all. I'm telling you. I have my glam core light. But I moved into my permanent space in July, and ever since then I have grown immensely. I think that's the word I'm looking for. I have my little client board right here. I have grown immensely, and I have been able to produce great results for my clients. Even when I was breaking, oh, there's someone screaming. I hope they're like, that's a good scream and not like a bad scream. But I've grew my clientele immensely. I produced amazing results while I was breaking up and setting down, and while I'm steady. I've I've met amazing clients who I love. Like, my clients, it's like going to work and you're just hanging out with your friends. It's just great. Um oh, I got another magazine article featured by Shout Out Atlanta in May. Um and it's just been great. And I spoke at a college about, my business and skincare. And this this just really shows the Lord's way is the best way. And when you truly have faith, anything can be accomplished, because there are so many moments or times where I just was in a season of steadiness and isolation, where all I was doing was studying and going to the nature trail and just listening to motivational podcasts, and just doing that like every single day, just in the gym, just listening to podcasts about my craft. Like, I just at one point felt so isolated and just so put my head down. I didn't really have a social life, you know, just really introverted, just really focused on what I need to do. And mind you, doing all that, I I was in seasons where I didn't know what the next step was, but I knew, even though I didn't know, I still had to work. I still had to do what I need to do, because an opportunity can present itself at any time and you need to be ready. So this really shows that, like I said, with faith you have everything, but without faith you have nothing. And it's really important to just stay the course, and to not get in your own way. Because I've and I said this in my magazine article, but I experienced imposter syndrome a lot in the beginning of this year. I had many moments where I went to my mom and I was like, am I doing enough? Am I, producing enough? And I remember when I left my job and we were about to open Lexi Pure Skin Aesthetics. Oh yeah, it's Lexi Pure Skin Aesthetics now. I added the aesthetics at the end, because when you have the perfect name you don't have to change too much. But I remember I came to my mom crying. My mom was watching TV and I came in there crying, and she like paused. She like turned it down. She was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "What if no one comes? What if no one shows up?" And she gave me a hug and she was like, "No, no, no. No, 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 no. No. No." So, it's just having faith, man. Like, as a business owner, just as anyone, like, you just got to have faith. You just got to have faith. You just have to have faith. So, now fast forward to present day. Like I said, it's December 2024. It's New Year's Eve. And next month, we're celebrating 1 year of Lexi Pure Skin Aesthetics. And I feel it's very important to celebrate every milestone, especially as a business owner. I don't know why I just shook my hair. Especially as a business owner, because being a business owner is not for the weak. I have the capacity to do this. I know this is my calling, but even though that is the case, it's not easy. It's hard work. You have to have a certain level of discipline and self perseverance to be able to do this, because the success of your business lies on you, period. So, you know, if you're not producing, if you're not retaining clients, if you're not, it's on you. It's all on you. So, you have to have a certain level of self awareness, and you have to really, step into your highest self to be a business owner, especially in this industry, because people are looking at you as a blueprint, as an inspiration. So you need to be pouring into yourself, and being in tune with yourself, because what you put out is what you attract. So if you're not attracting your ideal client, if you're not attracting the people you want, take a look in the mirror and see what needs to be fixed and how you can improve yourself. So yeah, I'm going to be intentional with being present on here because the Lord told me I need to do this, and I've known this, but like I said, I've put it off, and I know I have a lot of knowledge and a lot of information I can help people all over, and I'm just excited for this journey. I'm excited to document this process because documentation is everything, because if you don't document anything, you can't really see how far you've come. I don't know what 2025 has in store, but I have no limitations. I'm open to everything because I make goals, but I make my goals. I okay. How do I want to explain this? I make goals, but I put no limitations on them. So basically, anything's free game. Like I may make a goal to like I made the goal to upgrade to a private suite. Whatever happens after this, I'm open to it all. However, how big the opportunity is, I'm open to it because I um moved when I moved when the Lord told me to move. So whatever He wants to bless me with, I am open to receive it. So, I don't really have like, you know, restrictions on goals or anything like that. I just work, I just grind, and the results or the abundance I get out of it is just what the Lord wants me to have. So, yeah. Thank you guys for listening. I hope this wasn't too long. But yeah, I'm about to go for a swim. So, I have my swimsuit on under here because like I said that earlier, I used to be a competitive swimmer. A funny fact. I used to actually be really good, and it's so funny. Competitive swimming was a huge part of my life. Like I went to state. I was like one of the fastest swimmers in my age group, and I went to state and I like competed at state. And my event was like the 100 butterfly. I was really fast, and I swam competitively for like 7 years. But I learned how to swim when I was like 4, and I swam competitively. And my sister, so I have an older sister, we swam together. And when she went to college, because she's in vet school, she's about to be a veterinarian. Shout out to Brianna. Um, when she went to college, I literally went to my parents and I was like, I don't want to swim anymore. And my parents looked at me like I was crazy, and I was like, yeah, I want to join the band. And they were like, okay, well, you still have to swim for the high school swim team. I was like, okay. But yeah, I was in band too. I didn't play nothing. I was just a flag girl. But band was fun. I highly recommend it if you're in high school. Band is fun because you meet a lot of new people. You meet a lot of people. You foster good connections, and band is just fun. You know, it's character. It's good for character development. But yeah, I'm supposed to be ending this video. I'm about to go for a swim. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the new year, and I'm excited to see what is in store for Lexi Pure Skin Aesthetics.